Well, hello my fellow caramellers. How you doing today? Well, this is it. This is the last part of the build, part 5, building this wonderful next-gen Camaro from Salvinos JR Models. Well, we started with this kit, but let's see. Nah, not going to use this one. I got something else. We're first going to pop open this Kyle Larson one, because let's move this out of the way, because I tell you what, I like the looks of this car a lot better than that NAPA car, and I like Kyle Larson. So since we got this kit, even though we were building on that number 9 car, we're going for this one. This is the route we're going. This is just a cool looking car. So let's go ahead and do this paint job. What do you say? You agree with me? Let me know in the comments. But right now, you know, we got to get this out of the way. So alright, let's just give a quick opening here. This is not really a box opening of this kit. We all seen the kits, but I don't know if it'll come through on the video, but you can see that this NAPA car is a darker blue. This is a little bit more of a royal blue, or I'm not sure what you would call it, but it's a blue that I like a lot better. And so we're not going to do that. That's going to become something else. And this is going to be what I use for my arty. We got all that. That will become something else. This will be this. I don't think I need anything else out of this kit. Well, yes, I do. I'm lying. We need to go for these beautiful, absolutely outstanding power slide decals that came in this kit. And luckily, I have a couple sets of these, so we're going to do this car up nice. So yeah, just a cooler looking car. I really like this. So now that we're doing the Kyle Larson car, I'm going to start tinkering with this body, getting it prepped, and we still are going to stick with the plans. We're using the blue that's on this car, on this body. It's a good looking blue. And we'll go through all the steps of what I'm going to do to put decals on this, and we are going to be clearing these out because we're going to be needing that stuff there. Pretty nice, really nice shape. And let's go ahead and test fit this body on the chassis. Get it here. Go ahead and see. Whoops, I got to get this off. Excuse me, didn't mean to be so wrong about this. Clip that the heck out of there for now. Go ahead and drop this on the body, and just as I thought, it fits just like the 9 car. That's where we're going to sit. That's what we're going to look like. Pretty cool. I'm wondering if we should go ahead and put this spoiler on, the painted spoiler, onto the body before we do the decals or after the decals. From what it looks like, the white completely misses the spoiler, so it's really 6 of one, half a dozen the other. But I think what I'm going to do, let's see, I want to do clearing though before, because what we're going to do is I'm going to take my fresh can of TS13 Tamiya Clear, and I'm going to do a light scuff on this, just with 3000 grit, a light scuff under the water, and then we're going to just shoot a coat of clear on this. But I do believe that we are going to have to put that spoiler on. I don't want to be doing any gluing or stripping any clear off of that, so we might as well glue that on. I think I can work around it. And then we're going to get this hood off and trimmed up and looking good so it fits right. So I'm going to work on some of that and get this thing basically prepped for the clear, and then we'll shoot the clear on there. Once you get it in place, I mean, what I really like about how it fits in there, it just fits perfect on there. Lines right up. So we got that on. Like I said earlier, I decided because of where the decal lies, it would be just easier to put this on here because we're going to clear it. Now I've got a bowl of water off to the side, and I am going to just sand this complete car, prepping it to put clear onto this. I'm going to sand it all down with the water, wet sand it with 3200 grit. 3000 grit is what I said. If I had some 3000 grit, I'd probably use that, but I think this will just be just enough scuffing to just have this body prepped. And I'm probably going to have to go back. We've got some parting lines to deal with. I did that in a video once before, how to get rid of those parting lines if you're keeping the natural color of the plastic. We're going to do that on this one. Right now, my light scuffing, all this is, just want the clear to be able to bite into this plastic. If you leave it smooth, uncut, so to say, your clear isn't going to bond onto the plastic, and you're going to get some delaminating, lifting. I'm going to be doing a little bit heavier sanding there. We've got parting lines that pretty much, which is very cool. The parting lines, I notice, kind of follow the edge right around there, which is super cool. I'll probably have that gone just by using this 3200 grit. I'm going to probably hit that really good, just to get rid of that parting line that's on the edge. That thing will just vanish. I'm going to get in there real good because we want the clear. There's going to be some decal laying down in there too. I'm not worried about the underside. I'm going to leave it alone. That actually should be, you know, maybe I might come back later. I don't have any carbon fiber decal, but I think later I'm going to come in and lay a carbon fiber decal, so I am going to sand this. I'll probably throw some clear on it, maybe, I don't know. That's what I would suggest. Under the hood, even in these body panels in here, if you were painting, I'd paint it black or carbon fiber, anything that you see, because that's what it truly looks like. Or sometimes a raw carbon fiber, which you'd want to use kind of like that goldish, yellowish weave. Give a shout out to the grumpy old scale modeler, old Darren Cook. He's been doing these live streams. He's doing some really cool things with this kit. He's been doing live streams on Friday nights. Did one this past Saturday. For some reason he had to push it back, but usually it's on Friday nights. You'll find it on the Luka Cee Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group. He posts on there the live stream. If you're really into this build, and I would imagine because you're watching this series, go check out what Darren's doing. He's doing some pretty cool detail work to it, and he's putting a lot of carbon fiber on his build, so go check him out. So we've gotten everything all sanded, the little parting lines in there sanded down. I only went to about 3600 grit because I'm going to be clearing this, because it's been about 3600 grit is what I used all over the car, just to knock the glaze down so that my TS13 will kind of grab it and stick to it. So we got done with all that, and I went and I washed the whole body. We still got some stuff here in the crease. I had hoped that the water would have taken it out. I got to get all that out. So see that white there? That's from all the sanding. You got to get that removed. So I went ahead and I washed the body and the hood down with just some, tap water with a little bit of light dish soap. That's pretty much how I always clean my bodies. It does good for me, get any contaminants off. My hands are nice and clean. We should be really good. I'm kind of handling it. If I had a tack cloth or some wipe down, pre-paint wipe down would be a lot nicer. And then I've been drying off. I don't have any of my blue rags. I've talked about this in the past. Best thing to have, you should always have a roll of those blue shop rags, those disposable shop rags you buy at the auto parts store. Those are the best lint-free towel to use to wipe down bodies, clean them off. That's what we used to do in the custom paint shop. I would not use any type of cloth rag at all to wipe down any type of model parts, bodies, clean things up. I've got to go get another roll of those. Those are nice to have. But if you don't, I'm using fresh paper towel that I kind of took off a whole roll, wrap around of towels before I grabbed the one I wanted to use, because I wanted to have something that hasn't been exposed to the elements and have any lint on it or anything, or any contaminant. We definitely don't want contaminants when we shoot this clear on this body. Got a pretty clean body. It's drying off real good, and I think I'm going to get ready to shoot the first layer of clear on here.
So I've gone and put a few coats of clear on this. And let's get that out of the way. And I want to start laying the white decal sheet down, which is this baby right there. Reason why I wanted to clear the model first, I like to create a barrier between the actual color. If it was paint, I'd do this, or you know, the color of the plastic. Create a barrier where when you lay the decal down, it's never actually touching onto the color. And the reason why is that can really cut down your chances of having any bleed through. You know, when you lay a white decal down on a brighter color, the white decal tends to kind of get that color coming through. This kind of helps that from happening. These are very, very well done decals. You don't get a lot of bleed through on these, but I like to do that. Just it prevents it from happening. And I've got the instructions right here for the number 5 car, and I'm going to go ahead, and doesn't really have a step-by-step what you should lay down first, so you know, we're just going to go for it. I'm going to start with here, and I'm going to drop it in the water. I've got a little thing of water over here. I'm going to go ahead and use Mark Fit Strong with this. It's been recommended that Mark Fit Strong really works with these decals. So it's already coming off. So I'm going to just lay that right there. Get my Mark Fit Strong. Just put it on the surface. It just kind of beads up anyways. And we'll lay that down. Let's see if we can get that right where it's supposed to go. You can see it's starting to suck down into all the areas. I like to take, you know, normally a clean cotton, you know, like a t-shirt, but I got this one that's got all kinds of stuff on it here, and it's all I have with me right now. It's really best to have a nice clean, you know, like a old cotton t-shirt, undershirt or something. And I don't like to push it around, I like to pat it out. Gets those wrinkles down, gets it down into all the creases that you want to get into. I'm going to go ahead and let her see here. I'm going to just cut this off. I know doing full body decals like this are pretty intimidating. I'm kind of actually a little bit intimidated myself, but these are actually going on pretty easy. They're lining up really good. Get a little bit of Mark Fit there under it, just to kind of soften that up. Maybe chill out the edge there. Now, something I'm noticing on this this white decal film, got that cool little Salvinos JR logo, and I've been seeing a little kind of a trend going on. Everybody's been putting that sticker right there, that decal right there, and I think I'm going to do that just for fun. We'll do that a little later, but I'm going to hold on to that. I love how fast these decals just come off the paper in the water just for a little bit. They come right off. It's awesome. But quite honestly, that's pretty much the easy part. This is where it's going to get really freaky and complicated, that whole side. And I have heard of people cutting them in segments, like right about there. I'm going to try to lay this thing all out. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, because I don't want to jostle that around, that's still kind of setting up, I'm going to leave the desk for a moment and let these kind of set into their place and let them get to where they won't move. So it's been a good amount of time. I have actually let this sit overnight. Everything laid down real nice, just letting that Mark Fit just do its job and really let it lay all down. And it's gotten into all the creases, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So now we're going to be hitting it on this large decal. We're going to do this side first. I'm going to get this dunked in the water and let it start soaking. Alrighty. I'm going to throw some of this on here, not that it really does a lot. It beads up so much on the surface. Puts a little bit underneath. This ought to be nice and tricky because it's such a big piece. I got to figure out a way to prop the body so I don't have to hold it so much. This one's going to be tricky. So I'm going to let some of the water drizzle on there. Slide this sucker. Without the body moving would be super nice. I probably should have propped it a little better. Try to get it right there. You lay it. I'm going to lay it across it. I try to hold it with my thumb there, right where I want it to start, and just try to slide it off where it'll slide into place. That's the theory of it all. Make sure it doesn't wobble or wrinkle, and get some more water so it's really slickery. I don't want any of the mark fit on here yet while I'm moving it around. It's going to take some adjusting. Once we get it where we want it to be, got that little spire right there. Just gotta fiddle around with it. It's like putting a puzzle together. Pieces line up. I'm going to try to get it to line up with that right there. I think once I get that, that's just trick, getting stuff to line up. It's all kind of falling into place. Now I'm going to start dropping some mark fit on this thing because I pretty much got it where I want it. What mark fit does is soften everything up and helps it adhere. And anytime you can get some underneath, try to. I know a lot of people, like with the vermilions on the old petty kits that Salvinos have been doing for the past couple of years, and these kind of intimidate some people. It's all about patience. It really is about patience. Just take your time and work with it and fiddle around. And when it moves out of place, it's not a big deal because you've got time here. It's not like it's going to adhere. I'm actually going to let this sit for a little bit. It's pretty well where I want it, but now we got to start letting the decals kind of soften.
You're watching the Luka Cee channel on YouTube.
Things are starting to soften up a bit. I'm going to drop a little more, especially in this area. This looks like that's going to be a challenge to get that all set right. That's got to wrap around there. So going around the wheel wells, that's a fun part. These pieces are all designed to fit together, and if you got one off, it's going to move stuff off. So again, this is all about patience. I also I got these Q-tips I bought. I was working with some of it. Some of those I didn't really do on camera, and I found these things are real helpful. If I can get this to set up, it'll anchor the whole decal. It won't move so much for me, so I'm going to try to start squeegeeing the water out, and it's already starting to create a line there. I do a little trick with decals. Is I just like to, this area, I roll like I'm getting a thumbprint or a fingerprint.
Wait, what?
Roll. Why do I know that? Doesn't mean I've been arrested or fingerprinted before, please. Don't in the comments start saying that I've been in trouble in the past. I've been a very good boy my whole life, yes. I saw it in the movies, that's how I know.
That's an attention getter.
If I can get this anchored, it'll keep everything solid and I can start. This is going to take a lot of work right there, I can see. But you see, it's not a just lay it down thing. I know a lot of people have complaints with these big decals and all that. It is all about taking your time. Yeah, this is going to be a real challenging area right there. So all the areas that seem to have locked into place, I want them to be set in their area. I just needed this to move a little bit, and if you just kind of bump it with your finger, things will go right into their place. Now what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put a little bit of more mark fit on here, and we're going to step away for a moment and let this kind of soften up and get all moved into place. I like where all these are laying. That's really nice. That all helps anchoring the decal so we don't get so much movement while we work on that real complex part right there. This is going to be, just got to work it easy. See, I already got some of those wrinkles out. Just got to work this. Getting all this out. So we're going to soak this really good. And everything else is looking very nice. This is all hitting in their spots. Patience and time. And we'll be right back. Let it sit. So we let it sit for a bit. This is all kind of drying and setting. We just have these wrinkles. And here I got this to wrap around. I had to do a little bit of slicing. Sometimes you just got to get in there, and I think I'm going to slice where this wrinkle is very carefully. Try not to rip, because I just don't think that wrinkle's going to go away. So we got to get a little bit of a relief there. But that's starting to stretch out there from the mark fit. And a little bit of air there. Starting to take those wrinkles out. But now that I have that slice in there, that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if I would recommend that. I should have just worked it, but it actually helped get a lot of those wrinkles out. But now I got that slice in there. I got to work on that and get that slice to. That's why you got to be real. Have a nice sharp X-Acto blade so that you have the two edges will fit nicely together where that seam will go away. We're working it. I'll just keep working it, and we'll see when it all sets up. Let's see, it's got that all sucked down. We got those wrinkles out. Just gonna do a final little pass of everything. It's all pretty set in its place. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do a little quick wash over of the mark fit strong. That last little coating of that just softens everything up and lets it get into every bend and crease and everything, and we're just going to let that sit, and it'll probably suck down real nice, and we'll just let it sit, do its thing. Take your time. That's the key to doing this, is taking your time. So we've let this sit, and it's really smoothed out very nice. Only bummer is I think I created a little bit of a problem, so I'm going to try something on the other side. But I think this area right here gets covered up with a decal anyways. That's going to go over it anyways. So I might cover a bit of that bad area, but I didn't align it too well, and it misaligned that slice. But it's almost like I think I had to put that relief in there. I could not get that wrinkle to come out and smooth out around here. But I think if I would have worked it with mark fit a little more and let it get more soft, I could have done it without that. But everything else laid out really nice. It wrapped around the fenders real well, wheel well openings I should say. While I was waiting for this, I'll show you, is I went ahead and put this on, which seems like it would be an easy decal to do, but it's right now still sitting in a little bit of mark fit and it's smoothing out, so I just got to work it. But because of all the little vents and everything these letters have got to fit in and creases, it takes some working, but I got it and keeping it in its right position. So I've been working on this, and it's really turned out nice until I just ruined it. Just ruined the H right there. Fubbled up my H. I don't know if that's going to be repairable. I had this looking nice, and I thought I'd do a little bit more, and I just tore the whole H off of there. So we'll have to live with that. So now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the other side on, and then I'm literally going to let the white, because we're double layering decals, I'm going to want this to sit for a while, so I might let it sit for most of the day and come back to the bench later on today and lay the other layer of decals down. And when we come back, these would have sat for a while. I'll have the other side done, and we'll be ready to put all the fun graphics on. That's my favorite part. The next thing we want to do is we want to start laying down the other decals. like all the livery. But probably first what we want to do is we want to start putting all the headlight and grille decals and the taillight decals and this lower decals here. We're not going to worry about this. Is all for the windows and everything. So this is probably the next stuff we're going to do. But it's basic decaling up a car. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And after we get all the decals on, we're going to clear it and final assemble of this model. So let's get the decals on. Now I already have to do a little bit of a change up because I wanted to do all the grill and light decals, but you can't do this grill decal first on this number 5 car, because as it shows here in the instructions, if you look right there, this decal right there, you need to put that on first and then put the that side vent grill or whatever that is decal on after you put the graphic on there. As you can see, there's no cutaway for that, so we're going to lay this decal down next before I put those on. So this laid down really cool. Yeah, love these colors together too. That's what I like about this car. And we got it all laid down real nice, and a little bit of trimming, a little bit of slicing just to get things to form into the place. Not a lot though. This laid out really nice here where it's supposed to be, and I just did a little, you can see some slices I did just to get this to form in there, and I'm just going to put a little dab of Mark Fit to really soften that area up and let it really take form around this indentation, because we're going to be putting this decal there inside there, and it would lay over that graphic. So I'm going to leave I wouldn't cut that out. I would just let it form into that pocket, and when all that's all set up, you go ahead and you lay your little grill decal into there. So you see the final results of that layering. It just looks real good. Looks like the car. You definitely got to use Mark Fit when laying these decals. Trying to do these decals with just water is impossible. There is a lot of curves, and just take your time with it. Well, hey, I'm coming back a little earlier than I was originally planning. I have been laying the decals out on this car, and first I gotta say, these decals are really fantastic. I really love the looks of it. I'm right now at the point where I'm laying this black decal down. Didn't think we had to go through the whole process of decaling, but I do have a few tips after doing this if you haven't done this car yet. A couple things I would do different, because I made a few little mistakes, nothing really serious, but these things are so forgiving and so easy to work with. But the trick is taking your time and use a lot. This right here, I highly suggest using Mark Fit Strong. Even though what's holding this up, I even brought out my micro scale, which is awesome stuff. But I'm really finding that this Tamiya Mark Fit is just doing the job. I'm going to admit I've kind of have a few fails, but I think the fails are going to help you do a lot better job than me. If I was to redo this, quite honestly, I would paint the car blue. But the blue color, I mean, look at how much the blue and the decals and the blue on the plastic just match up perfect. But you guys might be seeing some about my plastic areas, the bare plastic areas. And you know that I shot clear on here first, which helps with keeping this really white, and it worked out real good. But I'm coming into some issues. I don't know if it's going to correct for me. We're still moving on this, but I'll go over it. You see some goofs. I did some major goof ups, but all in all, trick. Take your time. I have got hours. I'm telling you, I have hours in putting the decals on. I got them on the other side too. I have got hours into this, and look, see, little movement, doing things. Look how you wreck stuff. I got the setting solution trying to soften these decals up to get them to go into place. But as you can see, it's very, immovable still. You can get them back into place, but I'm really trying to get these to soften up.
I'm halfway thinking I might just paint that. I don't know. After I do my final clear, I might paint this. This is kind of a bear of a decal, but I also, just real quick, I tried putting the decal on one of the, the back glass here, which did real well. It worked out real good. So that really helps with the whole look of the car. These decals are so well made. They're so flexible. So all these red stripes all here, they have a little bit of white around them, but that is very thin right there. And this is all separate. And when I was doing this side, I can't even remember. I think I cut it there, and I think I cut it right here. I can't remember. I remember two places. I thought I needed to do that, and it helped me maneuver it. But this side, I put that whole thing on there. And once you get these down, keep them nice and wet. You can keep on using your mark fit. That's what's great about this stuff. It softens it up, but it doesn't melt it away like this Microset and Microsaw has a tendency to really melt them, and they're really good for really tough areas. But man, this Mark Fit Strong just did the trick, and it just formed everything. Now you have different decals. You got different layers of decals. They're thin enough to where they really blend together well. You have so many multiple layers. But I definitely would say back here, this blue stripe here and this blue stripe here, that's decal laid after you lay the white down. You see how you got a lot of separation here? I didn't have enough room. I had done this side and had this side red up here first, so I was able to get that blue to lay where you have a nice tight red and blue there. And this blue right here is the plastic. This I didn't, so you see I have kind of a bit of a spacing there, and there's some white showing. So I would put those on afterwards. And definitely, when you let these sit with the Mark Fit on there, you got to really be careful. I was doing other things. I was trying to get so much done that I was handling this and I didn't notice, and I moved that, and the next day I come and look and it's already set. There's nothing I can do about that. I've made a few mistakes like that. But another mistake I think I made is what I was trying to do. I'm really hoping that I can clear this and really get it smoothed out. But the clear is really crazing on me. I haven't had that happen before with this Tamiya TS13. Hopefully I can get this handled, but I'm going to show you something here. This is all for learning, and this is kind of embarrassing. I got a little heavy-handed when I was trying to get the hood to work because I'm still having problems with the clearing. I don't know why it's not working. All the times I've ever done this, I've never had this issue before, but I'm still having a lot of crazing. I don't know if I can pull this off. So we're going to go clear, but you see, I went real heavy-handed when I laid this decal down, and look at the bubbling I got. This clear is very hot. TS13. It's a synthetic lacquer base. It is designed to go onto plastic, but I don't know if this styrene is so different from Tamiya styrene. When I did the Tamiya Mustang GT4, that's what I did on that, and that was all the plastic was just the color plastic. It was white, and I laid the decals down and cleared over it, and I didn't have any issues. And I've done that on several other models. I even did it. I even did it on the wraps. That's all TS13, and I didn't have any of this happen. So not sure why those. It's just the luck of the draw, the gamble when we do this stuff. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to try to. I've let this sit for quite a while. I'm going to continue on with clearing this body now. Again, not going with the black decal here, so I guess these have sat for a good 24 hours. I'm going to let them sit for as long as they can, and then I'm going to clear it, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a little bit of bare metal foiling and maybe painting this black. I'll paint it black and then bare metal foil. The hood, I'm just going to try to get clearing it, and we're just going to, I'm going to do some very, very light coats. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 very light coats over this. Let it sit overnight, so it doesn't attack these decals. I really love how these decals laid. I'm really tricked out. Look at all that Part5 all formed in there with this little dot right here. That's a little antenna sticking up in that too. Well, as I was laying it down, I just kind of laid it down and kind of let it poke through naturally with a little help with an X-Acto knife. I will touch all that up. It probably just needs a little, because this will be black on there. So after this is set, I didn't want to do it while it was wet, but now that it's sat for a while, you can get in there and kind of cut it away, or just paint it black. But we can get, yeah, it's pretty on there good. Just get that all off of there. There we go. That's up and about and out of there. So yeah, all the decals are on. Everything's done. So I'm gonna probably start clearing it here right now. And next time we show up in the next scene, we'll see if it totally destroyed itself or if I recover myself here and get vindicated. And then we'll go ahead and get the rest of the clear parts decaled up like this. Get this body on here. Let's take a look at that. Such a cool looking race car. I dig this thing. It's a good looking race car though. That's really cool. And so here it is. I am calling this version, done. Haha. I tell you what a beautiful looking race car. This was a fun kit to put together. The decals went on smooth, and you see that is the kit plastic color right there, all this blue. And I put probably almost 2 cans of clear on this thing, between doing all the different layering of clear, first clearing it, and remember that little bit of crazing I had? I started laying the clear out, and it started flowing real nice once I got the decals on. I had that little problem because I put a little too much on the hood right here, and but other than that, man, everything just turned out really awesome. This is just such a cool looking car. Look at that thing. Now, do you notice I don't have a back window and I'm missing some clear? I have let myself down on a bit. Like this here, I don't even have this clear window. That is actually the decal stuck in. This is my fault. I don't know what the heck is going on, but this clear is so freaking clear, I am misplacing it. And I'll tell you, some decaling. Let me show you before I get back into my whole clear situation. And I flubbed up a little bit on some of the decaling on the glass, but once you get this stuff laid down, it really does look good. The trick is just take your time, and I would advise do a piece at a time, let it set up, because you go back and you try to put the other piece on. That's where I was screwing up, and I constantly kept bumping the different pieces, and I just lost my mind with that. And the back window, if I could show you the back window, if I wouldn't have lost it, and we're talking, I just decaled it up last night. I did my last video, I just moved some stuff out of the way, and I can't find it. It's so dang clear, I can't find it. So, what can we do about that? So there were just all kinds of lines and stuff on that. And the decals laid out really nice, and it was multiple, striping this way, crossed around here. The front windshield, this was a separate piece, that's a separate piece, this is a separate piece down here, these are separate pieces. Lay one piece down, get it laid down nice, dried, all laid out. I put a lot of Mark Fit Strong on there. Step away for a few hours, let it set up, because you start touching the other things, that's when you start peeling it off, and it looks pretty good, but there's some messed up goobered spots because I touch it with my fingers. So I really highly recommend. I've got hours into the decaling of this, so you got to have patience. Just take your time, and you're going to get good results. I learned a lot with this, and I got to say, by no fault of anyone else, my fault, I'm not really pleased with my results. But quite honestly, I had a very nice looking shelf model. I'm going to enjoy this. I got another plan. I got another build I'm going to do. I might do a whole new body for this car. Or I might just leave it like this. I don't know. I'm going to be building a lot more of these. That's all I got to say. It was a lot of fun. I learned on this one. This was the learning one. And I took you on this journey. You saw some of the mistakes I made. That's why I'm being open about goofs I've done. This is to help you guys. Let my goofs be your learning. All right? You see? Let them be your learning. and you're going to have a lot of success with this model, and you're going to be extremely pleased with the outcome. Even this, as far as, you know, because I'm constantly handling it and showing you guys, I lost my KL, the Kyle Larson, for that side before I got it cleared. So, you know, you can't win. But I love this Kyle Larson car. It's beautiful. I'm so glad. You know, the clear, it's okay. It's a little rough. I could actually, I got so much clear on this, I could polish this thing out if I really wanted to. You know, it can be done. It definitely can be done. No painting at all. Just clearing with Tamiya TS13 does the job. And I tell you what, I'm 100% happy with how this sucker looks. It's cool. Well, I'm lying. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% happy because, yeah, you know, I got a little anxious and cut some corners here and then, and it really is. You got to take your time. Now, if you want to learn about some good painting, why don't you go check out my buddy Chucky over at Chuck's Hobby Spot. He just dropped a video that's all about how he does his painting. That man knows how to paint. I'm happy with the chassis, though. That went together so sweet. So sweet. And this body fits right on there. Really nice. It looks really good. And look at my hood sitting there nice and flat like I just showed in that last video I put out. Make sure all your stuff is together right and you're not going to have any complications. Look at that. Everything fits. Everything fits. This is such a cool race car model. Such a fun race car model. I got to say, you know, some of the things that were frustrations really were brought upon by the guy behind this camera. I kind of, you know, I would do some things different. I learned. Again, I learned. Just have a ball with it. Take your time. Enjoy the build. You can build a beautiful, beautiful model of one of these great looking race cars and learn about these new race cars. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is the end. We're done. I built it. I'm calling this one done because I am gonna make another body for this car, and I got something really cool planned for the other kit I have, and they're not the only kits I'm ever gonna have. I gotta build some more, but I got something that I'll be bringing to the channel, another body I'm putting on this car, and what I'm gonna do with the chassis from the other kit. Right now I have two kits we're talking about. Dos kits. What a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. So you guys go out there, and what do we say here about model cars? We build them. Why? 'Cause they're fun. Here's the producers.